not a me thing, even though we have Earthstock, the event, and our foundation and enterprise. This is a we thing. We're in LA specifically to build bridges for an initiative called Build Back Green LA. I know it sounds lofty, but right now we're focused in the Palisades with victims of the fire. We have people in our consulting and contractor pool, about 60 or 70 people that do everything from water and soil remediation, FEMA approved debris removal, architecture, design, permaculture, regenerative agriculture, natural building on a huge scale. I'm not talking about, earth homes or straw bale hobbit houses. We're talking about the person we're working with, who's on the back of the card, one of our sponsors, is doing microgrid projects and also doing huge urban development projects, doing natural building with completely green materials. So we have a very dynamic ecosystem, but more than just, again, being a me thing or Earthstock, what we are, today is really about building bridges and finding who's in the community who wants to kind of play in the sandbox together and be able to collaborate. So with that, I'm going to stand here and everyone can hear me on Zoom. Okay. Thumbs up. Great. So very quickly, because it's a roundtable and I'm not here just to give a lecture, Earthstock Foundation, our 501c3, which is dedicated to educational component, along with Earthstock Enterprises, which is our corporation, is extremely committed to our slogan of regenerative solutions for people, planet, and the future. So what kind of makes us unique is we're not trying to do everything, but we are trying to connect the spokes of the wheel so that we can deploy regenerative solutions, again, for people, planet, and the future. So in the way of doing that, we very much follow, I worked with Barbara Marx Hubbard. Many of you might have heard of her in the past, an incredible visionary luminary. I work with people that are very connected to Buckminster Fuller's work, full system design. Let's not fight the old paradigm of what doesn't work. Let's create an option. So within Earthstock, we have our own initiative, but part of what we're doing now is the need to find. If you have a question, just ask me. I don't want to get into my script, but I want to fast track and get you the information. We're very much about roundtables and non-hierarchical collaborative design. So what that means, we all have our brands, we have our organizations, we're all doing what we do. But within that, we're at a point now in the human experience and with the environment that we have to fast track solutions, and that means collaborating. So most of what we've learned in our Eurocentric colonial system, right, going back to 200 years ago, and the writing of the Constitution, which was a adaptation of the Great Law of Peace by the Six Nation people, but they took out the role of women, they took out the role of youth, they changed the whole structure of council and councils governing and managing bioregions, or what we know in the West as watersheds. So the idea is we're here to build bridges specifically for collaboration and more specifically for an initiative that we're doing called Build Back Green. It started with LA, which is wow. So right now, the traction we're doing Build Back Green Pacific Palisades. We do have, over the last 6 months, relationships we've developed, not as coming in as outsiders or disaster capitalists, like, hey, there's money to be made here. And as an investigative journalist, I see how that can work after the Paradise Fire, 8,000 homes gone. But as community members that are working together to bring, again, solutions. I have attended several city council meetings as a journalist. I've been following, Gavin Newsom, LA 2.0. There's a lot of plans, a lot of agendas, and there's a lot of debate and jockeying of who's going to create this master plan. I do want to say very modestly, I under promise and I like to over deliver. I'm also accountable to my board. So what we're trying to do is get some real world projects going in the Palisades. But we don't want to just come in with our people. We're looking for the community here on the ground because it really is about connectivity in a bioregion, who's doing what so that we can collaborate more effectively together. So right now, we're working with one of the communities in the Pacific Palisades, specifically the Palisade Bowl. I've interviewed dozens of people from the community. Over 200 people lost their homes. It's right on the coast. It's an incredible property. And not only that, it's a low income rental and housing development for a lot of artists and a lot of people who are legacy contributors to the essence of Los Angeles, many things, the film industry, health, et cetera. So the fact that there's still there's still a debris field there, the soil's not been cleaned up. That's one of the people we have the most connectivity, along with homeowners who want to build back green, their homes. So we have very grounded real world solutions. I will share this. This is one of our alliance members, Green Tech, microgrids, different batteries, and also natural building materials. They have the patent in North America for this new completely non-toxic building material. So that's kind of like who we are, what inspired us to be here in LA. I live currently in the Rockies, in Crestone, which is an amazing community started by Hannah and Maurice Strong, who created the Earth Summit in 1992. When they purchased this huge property, they did it as kind of a green building sustainability interfaith center. It's been many decades since then. It's going through a lot of changes, but I'm there because everything from local government to state government to economic development to tourism all embrace the idea of sustainable building, sustainability, natural building, things that, to be honest, I've come up against here in California for two reasons. One is because of the building lobby. On my land in Nevada City, I was doing a whole permaculture farm and pollinator restoration. We were trying to do natural building, tiny houses, and I received probably almost $100,000 in ordinance fines from the county of Nevada County, which is ruthlessly known as one of the toughest places, strangely enough, on the Sacramento River watershed, trying to bring solutions in. Again, for 14 years, we did the Sacramento River Watershed Project, which is about water privatization in California. The nightmare of what we know as Central Valley, the salinity of the soil, the lack of wetlands, all these things that are so much a part of California's economy, right? One of the agricultural meccas that help also fuel the economy of the states. But still, the way that things are being done there is really old system and archaic. And I do want to mention, we've even reached out to people like the Resnicks who own the pomegranate and the almond industry. And all of our tax dollars subsidize their water for the agriculture, which they commodify and make billions of dollars. And then whatever's left gets sold back to the state. So I just want to kind of preface that, people like, wow, look at this wild hair. He must be like a wild hippie. I have long hair because I'm very much a Taoist. And then I find in a way that if you don't have a minute to see and communicate with me, it actually keeps a lot of the judgment and BS out of my space. I used to work in corporate America for Leona Helmsley, managing Harley hotels, 350 room hotels. I love the work I do, but I realize you can't make everyone happy. And to be honest, the hours and the grizzle of it, I decided that quality of life was more important just than how many numbers are in my bank account. So I'm very much about finding the balance of success, work, solutions, but also having, my own sovereign expression and quality of my own in life and lifestyle. So I'm going to kind of get to it right now. So where we are at, I think it's very easy to see without looking too far all over the world, whether you believe in it or not, whether it's a cycle of nature or something that's being imposed on humanity because of our, let's say, ignorance. I think it's really hard to deny that climate change is real at this point. Okay. But again, polarities, divisiveness. So with the acceleration of wildfires and flooding and hurricanes and all these things, it's kind of like, for me, a wake-up call. And for our organization, it's like the perfect divine timing to bring out solutions where it's not just falling on deaf ears. Part of it is how long can we keep our head buried in the sand and be in our own silo before we have to look at what's really happening. And again, that's why we're here in LA. It's undeniable, whether people believe it was space lasers or conspiracy, whatever it is. The thing is, we're about solutions. We're about policies. We're not so much about politics. We find it a very divisive area. So we're here, Earthstock Enterprises and Foundation. We're working on Build Back Green Palisade. And we felt it was very important not only to let people know about us, but to reach out to people here in this bioregion, this community, to collaborate and work together. Okay. So in doing that, we planned the Earthstock Summit and Festival. It's in October. It's a 4-day event. It's 2 days of high-level panels, workshops, absolutely, and keynote speakers. Okay, some which will be here in the Kinn, some which will be at another co-working space, some which will be in the community garden, like Hands in the Dirt community garden, supported by Santa Monica Sustainability Department. And we're also working with Santa Monica College Sustainability Department with Ferris and his whole network of green businesses. I just want to say, I'm not here to toot a horn. I just want people to know what we're bringing to the table so that we can really identify what's in the room and how do we best, put these pieces of this jigsaw puzzle together. So 2-day summit, 2-day public facing festival. We will be on Santa Monica Promenade. We have secured the Santa Monica Bay Women's Club. So we're going to do what we call edutainment and try to inspire people who might not even know what regenerative is, which is kind of the next harmonic beyond just sustainability. One of our colleagues is Professor Alan Troutner, the co-founder of Earth Day 56 years ago when they put the oil derricks here in the Bay, and has incubated, his business is incubating ideas into reality. So he has a green incubator. You can look under Green to Gold. He's incubated over 500 organizations with IPs, patents, et cetera. We also have, again, Trust Escrow, where we can do contracts around the world. We have a global network now, and we have brilliant people that we're meeting at a lot of these investment events, including Global Capital Network, the big super crowd event at the Dojo, Pro Dojo, where all the top equity crowdfunding platform founders of the world were, along with other events with Greg with the Green Unconference. So my job is to identify potential and collaborations as part of this collaborative ecosystem. And we also have new people we're meeting, like AJ Dugar and others, Edith, and I'm glad you guys are meeting if you don't know each other, who have the expertise to help negotiate different projects that are kind of going to investment and market ready status, to help negotiate the complex world of finding investors and dealing with things like ROI. Part of the event Friday night at the Mystic Manor, the mansion here, is we're doing a green investor social for 3 hours, because we're going to be beta testing with our team of collaborators, people doing short pitches, elevator pitches, to a room that will definitely have investors in it. And then Saturday and Sunday, again, public facing event, bringing products to market, inspiring the general community, having people from the Palisade speak, and already giving a platform for now. I think we have about 90 people who applied to present. So I know it's a lot of information. I wanted to at least put that on the table, which opens up space for interacting and seeing what wants to emerge from our time together. So this is the event. Applications close in just over a week. So if you'd like to do a keynote, be part of a panel, vend, now would definitely be the time. Feel free to share information with others, so that, oh, this person really needs to be known. I will say, here's our festival poster. So we're going both corporate and we're going both sexy, right? Because there's some people that disattract and there's others. types of platforms that do attract people. You're welcome to take just amazing. My daughter used to manage WeWork. So I know that they had kind of a crash and tumble. So I feel like this is like the next level of really innovative co-working spaces, super dynamic, brilliant people here. I'm also working with LA Conscious Events. We did an event with them last night in Northridge. They produce a lot of events, more in the health space. And the other night we actually did one at Joyful, the space here with the Grateful Giraffes. I'm connecting with Payam now, and we're going to be working with Light Dow. And I can go on, but it's just for me the obvious importance of building bridges and connecting what I call the lions at the round table. Like we want lions here, but we can also have others who want to be incubated and supported. But we need to get, like meeting Oliver today with his film on regenerative agriculture. And I watched it. It's like, wow, award-winning film. So we want lions to show up because, going back to Earthstock Enterprises, we have opportunities to bring you in as a consultant or a contractor or to showcase what you're doing. And we're just one person in the regenerative field. I mean, it's every day I see regenerative dance parties, regenerative lunch party. I mean, everything is now regenerative. So the message is there. For us, we're being very discerning of how we vet who we're going to work with and how we can be the most effective. The other piece we bring is Regen Media TV on Vimeo, YouTube. We're about to move up onto Roku and other platforms. We have several shows that we're doing with EV World. We also have a quarterly magazine called Regen World Magazine, 180 pages. Again, full spectrum content, arts, culture, spirituality, health and wellness, green economy, green technology, governance, bioregionalism, regenerative ag, food security, water security, soil remediation, all of these things compressed and simplified. And I don't always like to say it by AI. I don't like to say it because I just attended an AI conference and I asked, okay, AI, all the big quantum computing and the needs for these mega facilities, which right now Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg's doing one as big as Manhattan. They put them at prime locations where there's the best water and watersheds. They use billions of gallons of water. They have some emissions that are less than benevolent for the environment. So again, always balancing technology with environment and people and health. So we have the magazine, we have the media channel. We now have 80,000 people in the last year who have signed up to get Regen World Magazine. We're doing advertisers and sponsorships. And we also, by the creators of the Burning Man virtual world, we now have virtual Regen Global, which is a whole interactive environment with QR codes and different theme villages, green technology, indigenous traditional wisdom village, health and wellness. And we've been hosting dozens of events. The space is open 24 hours a day with products and connectivity. Maybe the virtual world is like, oh, I'm not into it. And I know we all have plenty of screen time, but these are all the platforms that we're trying to make available to support each and one of you with your organization and with the event to see what real world connectivity we can create together. I will say it does take, I know everyone's busy, but it does take maybe 2% of your time to follow through, to be coherent, and to have effective collaboration, or else it's just more of throwing paint at canvases and hoping something will land. So I want to thank all of you joining us on Zoom. Many of you I've known for a long time. I'm going to let us go around now, and if people could take a minute or two, who you are, where you are, and what you're doing in the regenerative space. If you're comfortable, don't feel obligated, or if you're new, that's fine too, because we have resources to help. And I'm really excited to work with the Kinn to bring some of these resources that are relevant without stepping on toes. I'm still getting to know people here. We're not trying to recreate wheels and step on toes, right? But to help enhance the connectivity here in the Spire region. So with that, I'm going to start here to my left with Edith. And if we can go around, I want to thank AJ for being here. He's one of our new superheroes, and he just came from the big Regen Ag event in DC with Ryland and Kiss to Ground and stuff. So if we go with Edith and we just go around, that would be great. Before we do that, is there any questions? And I apologize for fast tracking it, but I think we're all super coherent, aware people and can assimilate information at a high level. But any questions before we do introductions?
No question. What is, can you break down what the green construction initiative is in the Palisades? Like what makes it green?
Absolutely. So if you go to build, and I would ask for some level of disclosure right now. I have to say we've done a lot where people are like, oh, I'm going to carbon copy that and do the same thing. We want to build bridges. We don't want to fractalize out. So Build Back Green was started with one of my colleagues in the Regenerative Global Alliance. It's not another business. It's just an umbrella for collaboration and alliance, strategic alliances. Moved to Lahaina to create a transition and sustainability center in Lahaina with the government there in Maui. A month after he moved there, so we're like, okay, here we are trying to address this, right? So the idea of transition to sustainability is one thing about retrofitting everything from urban structure to rural off-grid situations. So what we did in that situation was we deployed some of our regenerative ag people. We brought in like 1,000 gallons of compost tea. I'm not trying to take credit for it, but even the banyan tree in Maui and some of that neighborhood was cleaned up by what we call our regenerative responders. So we have this emergency response part of Build Back Green. We have the transition to sustainability team, but Build Back Green is looking at, depending on the situation, which they're all unique, how can we build back green? So that has to do with renewable clean energy. It has to do with, in that case, which is different, had to do with cleaning up the past before we can actually move forward. So that had to do with soil and water remediation, okay? And even now, there's some tiny house villages, but most of the houses haven't even, how many years has it been? 3 years, 4 years? Yeah. They haven't even been able to build back hardly anything in Lahaina, Maui. So Build Back Green is about how do we take regenerative solutions and implement them to be healthier for people and planet. So there we're cleaning the soil, but basically it means natural building. It means renewable energies. It means not everyone can do a backyard garden. And I'm eager to hear what you're doing. I've caught a few things and, you know, you're doing it. There's things like agro hoods. How do we have food security? How do we have water security? In Maui, they realized, the state realized all their food is mostly brought in on shipping containers. The whole industry and everything there is dependent. And when pandemic happened, even before the fire, they realized, wow, we don't have food security here. So Build Back Green is about food and water security. It's about renewable energy, is aspects of retrofitting or cleaning up the mess of the old design that doesn't work anymore. And it could be, you know, Paradise Fire, PG&E burned down 8,000 homes. It came out, it was old infrastructure that collapsed, creating the fire. I know there's different stories about the fire here, and there's different videos. I'm not here to, you know, compare straws or say, you know, what really happened. We're just here in a very non-political community team building way to find solutions. So Build Back Green is some of the top people doing natural. Green Tech just did a whole housing project in Florida, like 15 multifamily homes with a team of 20 people. They put up all of those in about 4 or 5 months using this material with no toxic glue, no toxic materials. cutting edge technology. And every day we're finding more innovations in technology. So maybe that was too many words, but I hope that kind of answered your question. You can go to Build Back Green Global. The website's in constant evolution, but you kind of see how we do a campaign, how we actualize an initiative, and how we bring in the resource pool of solutionaries and luminaries as consultants and contractors. I don't want to speak emptily or overpromise, but we are looking for consultants and contractors that can be brought in on projects. I mean, right now we're talking with the islands of Tuvalu and places that are basically going under climate change mass migrations because of sea level rises. So there is more than enough space for everyone with your genius to be successful. But as things accelerate, my commitment is to accelerate solution deployment, action, less talk, more asses and elbows. Like let's get it done. And I know people here and all over the world are take ability to be a solution. Okay.
That was a great answer. Thanks. Well, I want to honor you and your hair. Thank you for being so present with us and so heartwarming and welcoming. My name is Edith, and I've been in the for about 22 years. I opened a few holistic hospitals in our and holistic treatment centers in Arizona too. So I've been in that space for many years. And I also opened an institute through Alan and Earthstock. He helped me open the institute as a nonprofit organization to research over 200 different types of wellness technologies to help heal the body. And so after we looked at over 200 different technologies, we only chose 2, and almost all of them went to the trash because they were here more to harm the body than to do anything better. So we stay away from anything that has to do with radiation. And it's all about, of course, harmonizing the body, but recalibrate the neurological system. And so we found devices that trauma. They're being used for many years now for the military and the veterans. And so waking up people out of coma, they use it as script hospital. And so when they're in coma, they're not waking up anymore. They're putting this specific wires and magnets on their head to activate the neurons. And so all the neurons that are connected to the rest of the body, if there's something that's out of whack, it'll dissolve it and create a new neural pathway so that everything goes back to normal. So that's a very impressive project that I've worked on. Also, I'm currently working on, we're building a resort in Tulum, Mexico, in a very private, secluded area away from the party scene, away from the tourist sites. And it's a section where only the military is able to go through, which is amazing. So it's very private. We're building a 3-story building there. We're gonna have about 33 villas, and I'm working with Johnny the healer. He has already 2 resorts there. He works specifically with mental health, substance abuse, and any other types of neurological disorders. So he works with indigenous plant medicine and also technology. They have the hyperbaric chambers. They have the best stem cells. They have microscopes that look at the best stem cells to make sure that you're actually working with something that is real. And so I've been very impressed with him. He's been there for 15 years and now he's expanding. So I'm looking for investors that can help launch the next phase of this. And so that's another project. And then the third thing is I'm in the gold mining industry. And so we have a gold mine in Arizona right now. And I decided to get into that space 5 years ago to be able to fund a lot of technology that is not getting funded that we really need. And also to help with the organizations that are here to help restore the planet, like cleaning the oceans, things like that. And so I'm not just an investor, I'm helping other companies too. So if you have a program or a company that needs investments, then I can look at that and see if we can align you with the right groups. And I'm also here to support them and help them with their events. And finally, connect people and execute, right? Because people are always meeting people, but there's no execution. Like a lot of people are just not making it happen. They're not getting to the finish line. So we want to help people get to the finish line by creating a very simple process. And so, yeah, that's me for now. Thank you.
Thank you. That was amazing.
Thank you.
My name is AJ Dugar. I am, after spending about 20 years in corporate, mostly in the media, entertainment, and technology industries, about 4 years ago, I decided to just become an independent advisor and consultant to companies, startups mainly. I started out with entertainment tech like AR and VR and blockchain. But my recent focus has sort of pivoted me towards the climate tech, sustainability, renewable energy, zero carbon emissions technologies. So I advise companies on business strategies, how to increase business and revenue through partnerships. I was primarily a strategic partnerships professional in my corporate career and as a consultant now. And so throughout my work with climate tech, I've also gotten interested in regenerative agriculture, regenerative living, and well-being technologies. And that's what took me to DC this week, where I attended an event where it was hosted by the Department of Health and Human Services with people from the Environmental Protection Agency, as well as the USDA. And the whole point was, how do we get American farmers get practically interested and moving toward regenerative agriculture by making it more profitable than the traditional way to farm. So Michael and I have known each other for a few months, and when he told me about Earthstock, it resonated, and I am here to help in any way I can. Yeah. That's pretty much it.
We met at the Super Crowd event.
We met at the Super Crowd LA event, yeah, which was quite an amazing event about how to use crowdfunding to fund your projects and startups.
Do you mind?
Hi, my name is Cindy. I'm like a bit nervous because you all are doing like amazing things. I am originally from Sweden, but I lived here almost for 6 years. I'm starting my final year in business analytics, and I'm a part of that from like in the job hunt, also working on an app that is like in like more of a business development, like product development phase, where I want to try focus on like zero food waste and regenerative business, and where it will be easier for the user to just choose fair trade, because I believe we're very habitual as beings, and the more easier it is to choose and some that's growing up in Sweden, it's kind of for a couple of years now. I don't know, I want to do it right, and I want to see where I can like just be in the right group of people and help and give back or whatever I can do. And I also work closely with the Swedish Chamber of Commerce here in LA, and the president named Pernilla. And if any way like that, crossovers could help as well. So yeah, that's pretty much about me.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Annie and Geki, and yeah, I'm an elder. And so I've been in the what now is called the regenerative movement for 45 years. And yeah, I was one of the co-founders of the Green Party and the co-founders of the Global Greens, which now there's about 100 countries that have Green Party activity. But besides that, I've had a nonprofit since 2001 called Earth Rights Institute, and we've been involved in pushing the bioregional. I mean, everything has, there's all these new terms. And I've been a pioneer. I've worked locally, I've worked nationally, I've worked internationally, NGO, UN. Each of you have said, oh, I know somebody or this or that. Currently, I have two hats. I've just relaunched a international consultancy on regenerative mining in Africa. And so what I'm trying to do there is to get companies in this country that have their supply chains to start thinking, what the hell are you, where are you getting your stuff from? You're talking about being conscious or whatever. Let's take it right down to where the mining, starts and the critical minerals that are needed. So anybody who wants to know more about that, there is this incredible new movement about regenerative mining, and it's amazing. It's sparking. And I've been very involved also with the whole spreading the eco-village movement, which is all about conscious, intentional, regenerative permaculture, etc. stuff. In regard, I'm also working with Nikki and Greg I was one of the presenters at the Green Economy on Conference, and I'm working with them to do some local stuff on Rebuild LA. Yeah, I'm, as I said, I'm an elder, and I've been engaged and know a lot of people and have done a lot of different things on a lot of different levels, whether it be peace building, ecofeminists, environment, international relations. I'm also a grandma, two grandsons. And because of my experiences that I've had, and I'm a global citizen, born in France, et cetera, and lived in lots of different countries. I am able to see things and see the scenarios of how did we get here? What's happening? You want to talk about regenerative farming in this country, then you got to go and really understand how much of the land is owned by corporations and that the farmers are no longer in control. And, there's the subsidizing. It just goes on. But that doesn't mean we stop there. We just have to, and I've been involved in the farming thing for a long time too. So anyway, I'm here as a resource, as an elder, and always inspired to keep the movement going and converge it. And we have to accelerate. Boy, we got to get no more. I'm doing this, you're doing that. We're all doing it together. We all need to know each other, and we need to join together and financially support each other and give everything that we can to make and change the path that we're on. Yeah, that's it.
Hi, I'm Georgia. I'm an artist. I'm not really like technically, I guess, like in the regenerative space, but I'm trying to help Michael with this festival. I believe in all this. I want to be part of the solution. All the movies that I make are about how the world can be a better place. So my strength is probably more in just like I just really care very much about like everybody getting like an equal chance at like survival. And I guess like the planet, to me, the people like are where like I really want to like help protect people. So we're just gonna hear.
And I want to thank you for helping really do the outreach for advertisers and sponsors and working off of a huge list at some point to me, because we do have a team of people doing that and more than just that we're building. Because let's remember, just over 2 years from now, the Olympics are in LA, opportunity of doing a regenerative green. Anyway, so there's a lot happening. It's beyond any organization in one event. We're really, like you said, and thank you for being here. And thank you for putting effort into helping with that essential piece.
Hopefully, maybe like the three of us can get on the phone after this meeting is over and do some follow-up.
Hi, I'm Bowen. I'm with the Eden Forest Collective, which is a
Can you hold that and just get them on camera?
educational nonprofit. We're on a 20-acre regenerative farm, actually, of the Kiss the Ground legacy. There's Molly Engelhart. And so, yeah, it's a, educational nonprofit. We're looking at retreats, facilitate connection of the broader regenerative movement. And yeah, so open to any and all collaborations or people who are interested in using the space there to build the movement, build the community.
Trying to remember his name, but I remember by the end, but they're doing a big eco village farm the fork project up in the. We'll connect on that. Welcome.
Hi.
We're just sharing
Surprise.
who you are, where you're from, and then what you do in the kind of competitive space. So,
Let's know each other. She's the organizer of the Green.
The Green Economy
oh,
Conference?
I didn't meet you. I did meet Greg through Alan, who
Yeah.
he was invited to send some of us emissaries to the event. So I was there, but we didn't formally meet.
I was behind the AV crew.
So you wanna?
My name is Nikki Faldi-Molay, and I work with the Green Economy Conference, building communities, Community 3.0X, and working with various and sundries to market and bring planetary and humanitarian balance back into play.
And currently the
Rebuild LA Green is a campaign we're doing to help coordinate and communicate with people that are out there doing good things in the space. Just bringing them together. A lot of people don't talk to each other. Like, well, why not?
So Alphabet and.
Is that different from that?
Yeah,
Which
build
is
back
when
green.
Alan and Greg talked, like, oh, so again, there's a lot of just synergy. We're all seeing the big picture and
Yes.
how do we collaborate and not step on toes and utilize it? And again, I know with Alan and I, we're about who's here on the ground. So
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
great minds think alike.
They do. Exactly. Do alike.
And you lived in Hawaii too.
Yeah, I ran retreat centers in Sedona and Hawaii. So we do all kinds of community building activities and regenerative agriculture and living off grid or on grid, either way.
Thank you for being here. Amazing. I did talk to Greg in the last week, so we have a rendezvous next week.
I'm Paul Holman, and I'm basically a light artist, and I have a long history. I was mentored in my youth and assisted Bucky Fuller and Barbara Marx Hubbard, and traveled with them, and so they have influenced my life over the years to do things to bring forth technologies that support life and protect the planet. And I am also a laser artist, and I've developed techniques for biophotonic therapies and using light and sacred geometry projections on the body. And so I am looking to do more of this to help people deal with the psychological and environmental challenges that are happening due to toxic air, high levels of ultraviolet radiation, and I'm utilizing this knowledge base that I have to develop protective devices for creating sonic, photonic, and force field, basically, to create an ionized bubble as like a force field to protect and purify our personal space. And so all that stuff is pretty sort of may seem pretty far out, but we actually have proven technologies. And this is an important area. And also we have proven technologies that protect the air, land, water, food, and create clean energy. And it is important to implement these into the real world now and take responsibility for creating a new paradigm for the culture and do things that actually are making a difference now in the world. We're in a race, obviously.
Great. So let's do this. I want to thank everyone for joining us. I will make this video available. Presentation here on Zoom, so we kind of know who's in the room. Working with LA Conscious events last night in Northridge. It's a whole community of people and organizers. The other day with Grateful Giraffes, I'm also going to be having meetings and following through with the Mystic Manor and Brandon, along with Max Song, along with people from the Light Dow and many other community organizers that are doing incredible work for people, planet, and the future. So again, now is the time. We are the ones that'll conclude this part of our Regenerative Roundtable, and we will be, again, every third Zoom room for anybody who wants to show up, primarily focused about how can we make October the most impactful, successful event, and even beyond that, cultivating relationships and solutions for the future. So thank you again, trust who is helping us do contract-based financial deployments around the world for regenerative projects, and the Siqueiros Foundation, which is a legacy art organization based here in the LA area, who's worked with her family's worked with people like Diego Rivera, and just amazing. They will be at the event with an art gallery. Lenny from Canada, who's part of our weekly Wisdom Keeper Council, always giving a seat at the table for Indigenous communities and wisdom keepers. And also I want to thank Christopher Worth for being here. I know he's doing a lot. The most important thing is please take 90 seconds just to register and get in our database and ecosystem for the event, and that'll continue to expand. So thank you everyone for joining here on Zoom. I'm going to give my attention just to the room and continue just a deep listen of what wants to emerge. And there's also many other elders who couldn't be here with us today that were there last night. Catherine, also Diana, many people associated with Global Capital Network, who's already committed to working with us to create green investor summits in the area. Devin from Super Crowd, and we're getting a lot of momentum. And I'm really excited about Edith and AJ meeting each other, because they're such an important missing link between projects and investors. There's a lot to negotiate there. So we have an incredible team, and of course, a big acknowledgement for Professor Alan Tratner, one of the co-founders of Earth Day and Green to Gold, incubating over 400 green, sustainable nonprofits and IP and technologies and patents. So we're just here in LA and getting traction. Thank you everyone for your time.